New face mask rules do come into effect in England this morning. Masks now mandatory in any enclosed public space, and that includes supermarkets, shopping centres and banks. And customers could face a steep fine if they do not follow along. With that, let's go to Dominic Velitis right now in Bristol for details. Dominic, nice to see you. So what, just 12 hours between announcing these new rules and enforcing them. So what kind of reaction might we expect here?
Well, Michael, I think people are actually going to go with this. I mean, I've personally seen over the last few days, indeed the last few weeks, people voluntarily wearing face coverings in public enclosed places here in England. So I don't think we're going to see scenes like, for example, those we've seen in the United States where there have been confrontations at store entrances. We've had a slightly different problem here, Michael. Confusion has surrounded the issue of face coverings for several months now. Indeed, go back to the early stages of the pandemic, and there was a series of debates as over if they were even necessary. Some were even saying they were potentially hazard. That debate was eventually settled. The benefits have now been made clear, but there's been more confusion recently. Indeed, over the last week, government ministers have been criticised over mixed messaging about where face coverings should or shouldn't be worn. Takeaways was a particularly problematic area. And then businesses as well, Michael, have complained over recent days about how long it's taken the government to publish its guidance. As you say, the full details were only released yesterday afternoon, less than 12 hours before the new regulations came into effect. But even today, Michael, there is confusion out there as to how all of this is going to be enforced. Some of England's biggest stores have already said that they won't make customers wear face coverings. And then several police forces have also said that officers won't be patrolling stores, and they will only be using fines as a last resort. So for this to work, the public have really got to get on board with it. And I think the early indications are that that is the case. But fingers crossed, certainly, Michael.
Mm-hmm. And as we talk about this, the British government is also taking another step in its fight against COVID-19. And this one has to do with flu shots.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, one of the big concerns over here at the moment, Michael, is how the annual flu season may coincide with an increase in the number of coronavirus cases this fall. There is some evidence that getting both at the same time is more deadly, but there are also concerns that a big flu season combined with an increase in coronavirus cases could actually overwhelm the hospitals. So this morning, the government announced that most people in England will now be offered a free flu vaccine this year. And we're talking huge numbers here, Michael. Some 50 million people, including everyone in England over the age of 50, will be eligible for that free vaccine. In addition, there are unconfirmed reports this morning that the government is about to launch an aggressive anti-obesity strategy following evidence that obese people are more likely to die from COVID-19. Michael.
Dominic, thank you for that. Or Dominic Velitis in Bristol, England.